Joining us now to talk about it all, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Mr. Cruz, as always, sir, it's great to see you. You know, this business, getting it under control. Well, at least he acknowledges there's something that needs to be controlled. But I don't understand, you know, so all of a sudden you blink an eye and there's 15,000 Haitians under a bridge in Texas. And by the way, I know we're trying to ship them back, but there's apparently more coming from Colombia. Just what is going on here? How is this possible? This whole year, nothing's been solved at the border.
Well, I was actually down in Del Rio last Friday, and I saw firsthand the tragedy that has unfolded there. And the cause is really simple and straightforward. If you go back to September 8th, just a couple of weeks ago, September 8th, there were between 700 and 1,000 people crossing illegally every day at Del Rio, and many of them would collect underneath the Del Rio International Bridge. On September 8th, the Biden administration had planes that were scheduled to go back to Haiti. The vast majority of the immigrants crossing at Del Rio are from Haiti. They had 900 people that were scheduled to be deported and sent back to Haiti. And on September 8th, the Biden administration canceled those flights and told everyone they could stay here instead. And what happened is those 900 Haitians, they pulled out their phones and they called their friends, they called their family, they texted their friends and family. And between September 8th and September 16th, when I was there, the numbers went from 700 to the day I was there were 10,503, primarily Haitians underneath that bridge. It was overwhelming the border control. It was more than they could process. The numbers went even higher, up to 15,000. And there's a direct cause and effect. When you don't enforce immigration laws, when you tell people if you cross illegally, we, the Biden administration, will let you stay, you produce the humanitarian crisis that we have seen every day since January 20th when Joe Biden was sworn in.
You know, Senator, I honestly did not know that backstory. So that does help to explain it, because I couldn't figure it out. But I guess, sir, I want to get you to reconciliation before we lose you. But just last one on the immigration stuff. I mean, they've had all year to get this thing fixed. The numbers crossing the border illegally are getting larger, not smaller.
Yep.
And I often wonder, you know, this infrastructure bill, why the heck didn't our GOP friends, I'll say, but frankly, it could be Democrats too, put the wall in the infrastructure bill? With all this going on now, I mean, I can't think of a better infrastructure play than building a wall on the border. How did that not get done?
There's no doubt that Republicans should have fought for that to get in there. As it concerns the Democrats today support open borders. This is a man-made crisis. You know, you showed that footage of Biden at the UN saying we're going to get the border under control. Let me give you a place to start, Mr. President. Come to the Rio Grande Valley. See the disaster that you have created. We've had 1.2 million illegal immigrants since Joe Biden was sworn in as president, and it's the direct result of political decisions that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have made. In particular, 3 decisions. Number one, on day one, they immediately halted construction of the border wall, literally dropped their tools. There's rusting rebar and equipment that is just laying out there because the Biden administration said, we don't care that we paid the contractors, we're not building another inch of the wall. Number two, they reinstated the failed policy of catch and release. It doesn't work, and it was a disaster. But number three, most critically, they withdrew from the incredibly successful Remain in Mexico agreement. As you know, Larry, Remain in Mexico was an international agreement that President Trump negotiated with the government of Mexico that provided that anyone who crosses illegally into Mexico, typically from Central or South America, will remain in Mexico while their U.S. asylum case is proceeding. And that agreement was unbelievably successful. Last year, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. It was an historic success. On day one, Biden ripped up that agreement, and today we have the highest rate of illegal immigration in 21 years. And you know what Joe Biden doesn't want to see? He doesn't want to see the Biden cages in the Rio Grande Valley. Thousands upon thousands of children, little boys and little girls, packed into cages. I've been there, I've seen them, but Biden won't go and Kamala Harris won't go. When I was last down in the Rio Grande Valley a couple of weeks ago, the rate of COVID positivity in the Biden cages filled with children was 22%. It's a disaster, and it's a man-made disaster, and because of politics, Biden and Harris are unwilling to fix it.
Yeah, Senator, it's well said. They're like a deer in the headlights. They're unable to do anything to fix this thing. And like they're the only people in the country that don't seem to understand there's a crisis down there which needs fixed. I mean, really, that little West Wing area there, it's the only part of the country that doesn't understand this. Sir, let me just get you quick on the last couple. At least the Senate parliamentarian ruled illegal immigration amnesty out of order. So that's a small plus. But besides the inflationist spending and the jobs-killing tax hikes, I want to ask you, Democrats now want Republicans in the Senate to join with them in raising the debt ceiling. Now, I've seen this movie before, sir, and you have too. In fact, we watched it together a few times. What's going to happen here? Why should you all join them in raising the debt ceiling, which has been blown out because of the spending? Why?
Well, I don't believe it's going to happen. I hope and believe that Republicans will stand firm. And the important thing to understand is the Democrats are playing a political game here. So they have 100% power to raise the debt ceiling on their own. They can do it on reconciliation. Reconciliation only takes 50 votes in the Senate. The Democrats have 50 votes in the Senate. It only takes a majority in the House. The Democrats have a majority in the House. But what you're seeing Chuck Schumer do is he doesn't want to raise the debt ceiling using Democrats because he wants to rack up trillions in new spending, trillions in new taxes, and he wants to shift political blame. So he's trying to advance the debt ceiling using a procedural vehicle that requires 60 votes. He wants to get 10 Republicans to vote for the Democrats' massively irresponsible spending. I don't think it's going to work. I helped lead 46 Republicans in signing a letter, and 46 of us signed a letter saying we don't want any part of the trillions in debt that you are bankrupting our kids and grandkids with. And so what I think is going to happen is you're going to see Schumer and Pelosi play chicken. They're going to threaten a default. They're going to threaten a shutdown. And at the end of the day, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden can raise the debt ceiling anytime they want. They don't need a Republican vote, and they're just playing political games otherwise.
I know. They don't want to own it. They will not own it. That's really what it boils down to. And all this spending, Biden inflation, job-killing tax hikes. I wish I had more time with you, Senator. It's such a pleasure to see you again. I hope you'll come back and visit us soon. Senator Ted Cruz in Texas.
Look forward to it, Larry.
All right. Thanks, sir. Up